Oh man, I am so tired. Jesus.
Good night, everybody, and welcome to another exciting night of Tech Thursday. I am your host, Akeem Saunders, and tonight we are talking technology and education. It is the first week of school, ladies and gentlemen. It is the start of a new season in education. And tonight, our special guest is Mr. Julian Anderson from the Ministry of Education. He is the Director of Technology and Innovation. We have heard it this week. We have heard it from the minister that technology in the schools is a must, and they are doing it. And I told you guys, Tech Thursday, we're here to go to the horse's mouth and find out what's happening. So tonight, welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. Share the video. Welcome, Mr. Anderson, on the show.
Thank you for having me, Akeem.
All right. We know it's a long time coming with the Ministry of Education on the show, but again, in preparation for school, Mr. Anderson was busy, but he took time out tonight to join us. So, a lot of big things has been happening in education and as relates to technology. So, before we get to that, let our audience know what you do here and what your role is and what this brand new school season is all about.
Okay, thank you, Akeem. My name is Julian V. Anderson.
V.
I am Deputy Director for Technology and Innovations. And as you may have heard, over the course of the last few days, there's been a red letter day this past Sunday, September 2nd, where we signed a contract with BTC. And what this is all about, persons may not be aware, but our schools was given internet in 1992 by the then government, and it was DSL.
Right.
And technology has since advanced, and we want to be on the cutting edge. So we are seeking to install fiber optic cabling in all of our schools.
And that's all?
All 172 schools throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Y'all heard it right there. Continue.
And so that is what you saw on Sunday. We have partnered with both internet providers, Cable Bahamas and BTC. And that is the foundation for all of the platforms that we will roll out over the course of the next couple of months, next couple of years.
All right. We have some comments coming in. Good night, Mr. King. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Be sure to go ahead and share this video. Hey, Joanne. Nice to have you guys joining us tonight. So, Mr. Anderson, before we get into this, right, we normally have a lightning round. And our lightning round is for our audience to find out more about our guests.
Okay.
And so we're going to get started with our lightning round first. Our producer's just on key this afternoon. So, Mr. Anderson, tea or coffee?
Tea.
British.
I really favor none, but if I had to, it would be tea.
All right. What's your favorite sports?
Basketball.
Who is your favorite team?
Used to be the 76ers.
So who it is now, Lakers?
No, I really don't pull for nobody. I pull for the underdog. And I'm really a fan of our Bahamian basketball players, Klay Thompson, and our new basketball player. I'll be watching him this season.
I got you. All right. Fiber or copper?
Copper.
All right. Pizza or chicken?
Pizza, you said?
Yeah, pizza or chicken.
Pizza.
All right. Wendy's or KFC?
KFC.
Okay, last question. Bamboo Shack or Checkers?
Oh, definitely Bamboo.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit about Mr. Julian Anderson. If you guys have any questions in the comment, if you guys have any questions to ask, please be sure to go ahead and ask them in the comment section. Hopefully myself or Mr. Anderson will be able to answer them tonight. So, Mr. Anderson, what is your role as the Director of Technology and Innovation here at the Ministry of Education?
My role is to carry out the government's mandate, and in their manifesto, during this term, they wanted this, the government's hope and wish that we are now executing is to have smart schools, and that is what we seek to do.
Okay. Obviously, it's already began.
Yes, it has.
And there is a timeline, I'm sure, that was given to you to have certain steps to be implemented and all that. Are you on track with those steps?
Yeah, we're a little bit behind schedule, but we do hope to pick up some speed because we have to do everything in phases. And as I said, the first phase is the infrastructure upgrade.
Okay.
And we hope to have that completed by the end of this school year, which is June 2019.
I think that's a realistic timeline.
Yes, and I'm hoping that we will beat that time because with our service providers, they are on multiple islands, so they can do multiple schools simultaneously in conjunction with the largest island in terms of New Providence.
Right.
And so we're aiming to have 50 schools rolled out per month.
50 schools rolled out per month.
Yes.
That's very aggressive.
Yes, it is. But we're going to aim high, and if we are not successful, then we'll fall among the stars somewhere, but we hope to be very aggressive in our approach because it's something that we've waited for a long time.
Okay.
And when you think about the possibility of you having internet and Wi-Fi on your campuses, any day extra is a day too late.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. All right. Sounds good. I love it. I love exactly what the Ministry of Education is doing. You guys are getting full support from the government, from all government entities and all that. I mean, how is there a collaboration effort other than the private? Can you speak to some of that?
Yes, we have the private partnership, and we have also government entities such as DIT,
Okay.
The Office of the Attorney General, because you're talking about contracts, and
Yes.
they have to, the Office of the Attorney General vet our contracts. We have
Okay.
DIT for their technical support,
Okay.
and as you said, we have our partners in our internet service providers and other entities, persons that will do the hardwiring and access points in our schools, Walker's Industry, and then we also have we've started in pre-primary with our tablets.
Okay.
And so we have a vendor for that, Sam's Business Machine, and it is hoped that during the course of this term, if not all, most of our primary school students and teachers will have tablets. That's K3 through grade 6 during this school year by June 2019.
Y'all heard it first right here, live on Tech Thursday, right from the horse's mouth. Wow, this is powerful.
Yes, it is.
Wow. So, what is the overall goal then with this technology being implemented? How do the ministry see it will assist teachers and students?
I'm glad you asked, Akeem, and it can assist in many ways. Let's think of our average student.
Okay.
Most students do not have a device such as a laptop, iPad, tablet. They may have a phone, but right now, the way as it exists, you cannot bring cell phones on campus.
Right.
We also seek to have a solution, a management solution, to allow cell phones to come on campuses where that they would be used in a positive way for educational purposes. And so you will see that coming on stream next year. I mean, in short order.
Okay.
You also have teachers. Imagine now every teacher in a smart school having a device where they can take the attendance register, mark students' work, and you can see all of this in real time, where you will have a parent portal where parents can see the progress or achievement of their students in real time. It also creates an avenue for teachers and students for research.
Right.
It also creates an avenue for collaboration, for teachers to be in New Providence or say Auckland's Crooked Island and be teaching students in Grand Bahama or any island or in any country for that matter. That concept, we talked about a virtual classroom where there's collaboration throughout the world and not just the Bahamas.
Wow.
We have a shortage in some of our specialist areas such as math, such as physics, where we can take a teacher and have them stream to another island and teach that class simultaneously while teaching their class wherever they are.
Wow. Wow. And the technology exists today.
As a matter of fact, we have virtual classrooms in 3 of our schools right now. We have it at Sister Mary Patricia Russell in Grand Bahama.
Okay.
We have it at the Samuel Guy Pender School in Spanish Wells in Eleuthero. And we have it at the T.A. Thompson, that we're going to bring it fully on stream this year, but we've already started.
Right. All right. Sounds good. We have some more persons coming in. Good night, Akira. Thanks for joining. Be sure to go ahead and share. Good night, Ms. Young. Thank you guys for joining. Be sure to go ahead and share. If you guys have any comments in the comment section, please go ahead, ask the questions. We have the Director of Technology and Innovation here at the Ministry of Education joining us tonight live on Tech Thursday to answers some of the questions that a lot of you guys have been asking us. Technology and education. My child is going into the school, into the next to this new school semester, and I want to help them improve their grades. What type of technologies and all that should we be using? And you guys have been asking that, and now we're here tonight with the Ministry of Education and letting you guys know what their initiatives are and how they are now trying to help our students, I guess, with that Sigma D grade average.
Well, there's no such thing as a D grade average, and I'm going to take this opportunity to explain to our audience. Imagine this. There's a different skill involved in math. There's a different skill involved in language. So I don't know how you could come up with an average if you're not comparing like things.
Okay.
And so we're mixing apples with oranges. There's no such thing as a grade average when it comes to external exams because they're different skills that are being tested. Now, when you find an average, you have to have similar items in order to arrive at an average.
Right.
And so there's no such thing as a national grade average.
Okay. Y'all heard it live on the rack from the Ministry of Education. You didn't hear it. I don't consider it fake news because it's coming from the Ministry of Education. There's no
such thing as a national grade average.
This is powerful. Like Mr. Rodney Monk would say. All right, so I mean, we have another comment said, that's a brilliant idea to be able to have teachers inside the classrooms be able to teach from various islands. Ms. Young says, technology. ED says, good evening. All right, good evening, everybody. Be sure to go ahead, like this page. Like this video, share it with your friends, share it with your family. We have from the horse's mouth, Mr. Julian Anderson from the Ministry of Education. He is the Director of Technology and Innovation here at the Ministry of Education, and he is responsible for this massive exercise of implementing technology inside of all of our schools from Bimini in the north to Nagua in the south. And so if you guys have questions, be sure to let us know inside the comment section so they could be answered. So, Mr. Anderson, I mean, implementing technology is good. The ideas and the concepts, I 100% agree with. Would there be IT programs integrated inside of the curricula?
We would hope that it is.
Okay.
And what technology is going to do is going to open up a new horizon for education, not only for the use of technology, but now we need to look at, as we expand technology, and it is our hope that not only education, but our country as a whole, because that's the platform on which the FNM government campaign on, in terms of digitization and smart schools and smart communities.
Yes.
And so therefore you got to look at the options that will be available as a result of technology. And we're not just talking about the integration of technology in our classrooms, but the careers that will spin off as a result of technology, because now you're going to have more devices being used.
Yes.
And so we need to now have computer repair, we need programmers, the whole, as far as technology is concerned, network administrators, etc., etc.
Yes, indeed.
And so I see our tech fork areas expanding to computer repair, networking. I see BTVI expanding their programs to accommodate, because when you talk about a fully digitized society, then you need the technicians to manage, implement, install this technology.
Indeed. So, and this might be a novice question. Is the Ministry of Education responsible for BTVI?
The minister is responsible for BTVI.
Okay.
And there's a board that governs BTVI and their affairs.
Okay, so the curriculum and all that is done in-house. And then the minister, I guess, guides that process along.
Yes, in terms of the
Policies and all
yes.
that. Okay, great. All right, and I guess the same thing would be said with UB.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So the Ministry of Education is responsible, I guess, from preschool straight up to
grade 12.
Grade
yes.
12. Okay, great. All right. So, I mean, have you got any feedbacks from your peers? Have you got feedback from teachers? Have you got feedback from parents on this new initiatives? Or are they waiting? Are they at Dodd and Thomas? Are they waiting to see?
Well, the challenge is there's been some attempt at this technology sometime in the past, and some persons are a little skeptical, but we're going to make believers out of them because we're going to do it right the first time.
Indeed.
We're crossing our T's and dotting our I's, and in terms of our contracts, like I said, our process has been, we've done the homework, and when we reach to the final stage, our contracts are being vetted by the Office of the Attorney General,
Yes.
and we're getting the support from the Department of Information Technology as to the technical support. And so therefore, we're using the best and brightest minds in our country as far as technology is concerned.
Yes.
And it is our hope that at the end of the day, we'll make believers out of everyone.
Okay. We have a comment coming in the comment section. I know Urban Renewal Back to School giveaway gave out some Kindles that I guess would help in assisting with reading for kids.
Yes, with any device that it's given, and we're encouraging and surprisingly enough, and I'd like to thank Corporate Bahamas and those donors out there. Since persons have heard of the initiative, and it's happening more so on the family islands, we've had a number of persons purchase devices for schools. So we have devices already in schools before the ministry was able to put devices in schools. And I thank the Honorable C.A. Smith, who's been working feverishly with this effort in helping promote devices in our family islands.
Okay, great. We have another question coming in our YouTube channel. With all the new technology and computerization, who will be responsible for maintaining the system?
We will develop a cadre of employees in our technology section, where we would have training from the best. We're using the best hardware that we can find, the Cisco routers, and we are soliciting training. We've already been to Cisco, and we want to have training by Cisco to manage our network and our equipment.
So you guys are looking to do everything internally?
We're looking, yes.
You're looking. I never say you're doing.
We've had talks. We've traveled to Cisco last year, and we've had talks about training the persons that we have and adding to that staff, because we need some more personnel, because 170 schools is a lot of schools.
It is. And then when, let's say you even take one school holds about 12 grades? Six.
Well, it all depends, because you have various levels of schools. You have schools that are just primary schools. You have some schools that have junior and high school. Then you have all age schools that have from K straight to grade 12.
So, okay, so let's take a deeper dive into this a little bit. Would every classroom be outfitted with fiber? Or would there be like one general computer lab?
Okay, what is going to happen is the internet providers will provide the fiber to the school.
Okay.
Then the fiber will be distributed to all the offices in the school. That is the principal's office, the vice principal office, the senior master, senior mistress, all libraries.
Okay.
All staff rooms.
Okay.
And all computer labs. Some schools have multiple labs.
Right.
Then we will have Wi-Fi throughout the entire campus.
Really?
Yes. So you will be always on and always connected.
Wow. 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 We have another comment coming in saying business in Harbour Island gave out tablets as well. All right, kudos.
Yes, thank you to whomever that business is. And like I said, there are a number of sponsors and donors that heard of the initiative by the Ministry of Education, and they have went ahead and purchased the tablets and are issuing them to schools within their communities.
All right, so I mean, again, Corporate Bahamas look like they're doing their part and assisting their community to making sure that their community is I guess, on par.
Yes, yes.
And I think with technology now, and the government looking at technology so seriously in a broad spectrum, that even that when they look at creating Grand Bahama, I guess, as a tech hub
Right.
that they've been talking about, I guess it now plays a pivotal role in how government now manages their funds or send the funds to certain resources.
Yes, but priority has been given to technology,
Yes.
and we've seen that because this technology section has just been created, and we thank the government for the funding that we've had so far to be able to take these initiatives forward.
Yes. You have another comment coming in on our YouTube channel. And just a question. Can students connect to the classroom sessions from home?
Yes, they would be able to, but the question would be, why would the students, well, for students who are sick,
Okay.
yes, but we would not want the students to be able to take the liberty to be home and stream into a class,
Right.
And take that option as not coming there and being present
Right.
in the class. We would want to discourage that.
Right.
But we do know that we have some students that are incapacitated
Yes.
and not able to come to school. And so, yes, that's an avenue that will be available to them.
Right, because I mean,
Also, what I want to state is not only would we be streaming live, but we would also want to archive these lessons
Okay.
so that students can revisit these at later points.
Right.
We've known, and research has shown us, that we don't always grasp concepts the first time
Right.
that they're taught to us. But imagine now that I have a lesson that I can go in a database and pull down that lesson and go over that lesson. I'm at my own pace and be able to grasp those concepts. And if I don't even grasp them the second or the third time, I still have the teacher as a resource person that I can go back to and say, I didn't get this, I didn't clearly understand this, I went over 2 or 3 times. And you will see, as a result of the students having the opportunity to review these lessons again, I guarantee you, you will see improved student performance.
and I fully agree with that, because as you were talking just now, I don't know if it still exists, where after school programs or after school academic programs.
Yes, they still exist.
They still exist.
Yes.
But I think now with the use of a pre-recorded lesson or a pre-recorded session, I guess now the invigilator or the teacher will then be able now to say, all right, we're going to play this particular archive training, because this now takes a further deep down breakdown on how we arrived at.
Yes.
And then I guess now you now be able now to streamline, I guess, the afternoon classes.
Right, right. And not only that too, think about the parent who may not be well versed
Right.
in a discipline.
Yeah.
And with the advent of technology, you can now Google almost anything.
Right.
And so now if you have your Bahamian lessons online, a parent can say, okay, let's go to this section and let's see how it is, and let's walk through the process.
Right.
When we go to YouTube and we want how to do something,
Right.
we play YouTube, we stop it, we pause it, we go back, and we keep going back and forth until we get the concept.
Indeed.
All right?
Indeed.
Same thing for the student. But the student has not been afforded the opportunity to replay the lesson, but with technology, we can now afford them that process.
And you just raised a valid point that now parents will now be able now to assist
Exactly.
their children in this effort, and also, I guess, to refresh their memory
Exactly.
on how to go about to
Exactly.
do long division.
Yes, sir. It'll be a learning process for all involved.
Indeed,
Yes.
and in general, or the grand scope of things, now I look at it as a win-win.
Yes, it is. Most definitely.
Yeah.
And see, what we look at now, if we look at students learn through different mediums.
Yes.
And so we have not embraced technology. Children coming out the womb. You give a child, you give a 2-year-old a cell phone, they
Right.
can program that, and most of us adults, we read the manual and can't do it. And so we need to embrace this technology, because our kids are well ahead of us, and the chalk and talk don't cut it no more.
Right.
We have to meet them where they're at.
Right.
And technology is the medium that's going to bridge that gap.
Indeed. So one of our past, so for the entire month of August, we have been talking technology and education.
Yes.
And we have been breaking down a few different scenarios how technology can assist in technology, right? Sorry, how technology can assist in education. And some of the things, and you mentioned it just now with the chalkboard, and you now have smart boards.
But yes.
And you now have televisions and these different mediums that now persons will have that visual effect.
Exactly.
And see exactly in real time, exactly from a graphical standpoint, how to arrive at a particular thing. I think in one of our recent videos that we did, or our shows in August, we then talk about virtual reality.
Yes.
I don't want to put the horse before the car, but I'm sure you guys have, I don't even want to put words in your mouth, but are you guys looking at that virtual reality in the grand space of things? Because like you said, you need your fiber foundation. From there, you'll be able to build.
Yes, here's what we hope to do. At the end of the day, we expect our schools to have at least minimum 2 virtual classrooms. And the reason for that is if there's some malfunction in one room, we'll have a next room up and running, and it wouldn't hinder the progress of our virtual lessons.
Okay.
And what we also want to do, as I mentioned earlier, we want to archive these lessons.
Okay.
And we want to look at our teachers across the Bahamas, and we want to be able to stream throughout, not just in the Bahamas,
right?
Because we have some teachers who some persons in other parts of the world can learn from, and we can do the same thing from them.
Right. You saying that, it took me back to my Oaksfield primary days, where we used to have a pen pal. And you used to write letters to pen pal, and you used to send it off around the world, and then you have that communication. And so now with technology now, this now opens that door, I guess, for that and for teachers now, like you said, to have a better collaboration. And because the other day I was looking at something, how to do a particular solve a particular maths problem, and all the comments would say, "Oh, you do this way," and then can't remember which culture it was. They say, "No, all you have to do is that, and arrive at the same answer."
Imagine that there's a guru, a notable guru, in say the field of math, and you want to teach a concept to the child or to the students. You will pique the students' interest if they know that they have a notable person teaching them. And what if you say you reach out through the use of technology? Man, I have this class who's interested. We talked about you. Just say we lived in the day of Einstein when he created those theories.
Right.
And we was able to tap into Einstein and teach a class. You know how powerful that would be for a student?
Indeed.
You know, and that is what we would be able to bring more to the table in terms of resources, and not just rely on the teacher, him or herself, but we could tap into the World Wide Web and get the best of the best. Not saying that our teachers are not the best of the best.
Correct.
Because I do believe that they are in their own right.
Indeed.
But we can expose our students to more. Some of our students don't have the opportunity to travel. But through the medium of technology, we could take them to places in this world that they can only dream about going.
Correct. Indeed. For you viewers out there, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We're having a very proactive discussion with Mr. Julian Anderson. He is the Director of Technology and Innovation here at the Ministry of Education. And this is the first week of school. And we've getting a head start on what is to come as relates to technology and implementation of our schools. So you guys, please go ahead, like this video, share it with your friends, and we'll be sure to have this further this conversation further. We have another comment coming in from Science Consultants. How does this technology help teachers?
Oh, it's going to help teachers in a number of ways.
Okay.
Let's think. I had a teacher come to me today, Mr. Anderson, I understand, and we've started giving out devices from the two ends of the totem pole,
Right.
with our pre-primary and our officers, and we're going to work to the middle, right? And eventually, all of our teachers, all of our officers, all of our students will have devices. And she said, "Sir, my laptop broke. Could you give me a laptop?"
Right.
And I said, "Right now, we do not have devices for teachers, but they will be coming in short order."
Okay.
And so that is one way. We're going to equip them with the devices. We're going to equip them with the training on how to use the devices. And as we said, we envision technology will take us to the place where parents would not have to visit an office. You can register your students online. If you have a concern or question, you could go to the parent portal and speak directly to the administrators and the teachers in your school via technology and vice versa.
Wow, powerful, powerful. And hold on, let me bring this up. Yeah, Joanne, that's wifey. I asked that question just now. So with the PTA meetings, how has the response been when a PTA meeting was put on? We don't, let's say general. Do parents attend? And if they don't attend, do you think it's because of the time? Do you think because either they don't have the transportation, this or next thing? Do you think with technology, they could do a live stream and be able now to participate in the PTA meeting and ask questions and all that as well?
Let's put it this way. We would add more participants
Yes.
to the PTA meeting, and I firmly believe that we should use all forms, all mediums to be able to get our parents to attend PTA meetings. Some parents cannot attend PTA meetings because of work schedules.
Right.
And so if we are streaming and they can, and it's recorded, and they can visit the PTA meeting later on at their convenience and then chime in through the parent portal and send whatever concerns or questions they have. Right now, we don't that does not exist. In order for me to do that, I need to pick up the phone and call the school. I may not have the time to do all of that, but if I watch the streaming later, I can type in, and whenever somebody access that information from the school, they can get back to me. So anything that is going to enhance parent involvement, I am all for it. And technology, not only in terms of streaming, but let's talk about blasting by text messaging to parents, sending emails, just blasting the whole parent
Right.
of a school one time to say, hey, rather than you now go and you see when you go to the school PTA meeting tomorrow night,
Right.
7:30.
Right.
How many parents drive their children to school in government schools for one?
Right.
Then secondly, some of them can't make it, but if we can stream that and say to them, hey, and send them a blast, the PTA meeting tonight, and if by some chance you're not able to get to the PTA meeting, we're streaming live.
Yes. Yes.
That would be wonderful, I guess, and assist a number of parents and increase parental involvement.
Indeed. And I mean, these initiatives that you guys are doing, I mean, it is needed. And I think the more parents get involved in their students or their child's academic and social life, I think we'll have a better performance.
What we're doing in our school environment, and the students need to be, or they should be grateful and appreciative, because in my day, when I went to school, computers was just coming on, and we started out with BASIC back then.
Right.
And you had to write your own programs to do whatever you wanted to do. And now you have programs already made for you and customized for you for whatever you need. And so what we're doing with the technology, we're making a win-win situation for the students, that we're giving you less reasons as to why you should not succeed in school.
Indeed. Oh boy. What of our audience saying, behave, Mr. Director? This you. All right. Hold on. I get a message from the producer. The idea of placing technology in class and be able to teach a class on a family island is excellent, especially for those shortages.
Yes.
Yeah. So, is there a reason for shortages of teachers?
Well, not everybody are family island orientated.
Okay.
And then you just have a natural shortage well, we have a global shortage in education on the whole.
Okay.
And then you have shortages in certain areas such as math, because most of those persons and language, most of those persons can go in other areas and make a whole lot more money than you make from teaching.
Okay.
So shortages do exist, and then you have some far-flung islands where there are hardship areas. Some persons are not willing to go, and so technology will bridge that gap.
Indeed, 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 indeed. Okay, so what I'm assuming now that, and I now see it, that even though that you guys are aggressively now integrating technology in schools, this is my professional and humble opinion, that you guys will have your own technical team to assist these schools in making sure that mitigation of downtime is achieved, because what we experienced without technology and what we know that we could achieve with technology.
That is so, and one good thing about the implementation of this technology, we talked about DSL, we talked about fiber,
Yeah.
we talk about Cat 5, we talk about Cat 6.
Yeah.
We are not disrupting no technology, no internet service within the schools. Whatever they have will remain.
Yes.
We're just adding to, so that will be, and there's redundancy in what we're doing with this new upgrade.
Yes.
So we're building into our implementation all those areas.
All right. So let me know when you guys start hiring.
And yes, also what we're doing, and it might sound simple,
Yeah.
but how to network a printer,
Right.
how to we have a email platform here at the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
How to access that email and how to sign into that email. We have those tutorials already online. We're using the Amazon Fire 7, and we have the tutorial online
Right.
now to
Right.
show teachers how to join that Amazon Fire 7 to WhisperCast, which is
Right.
the management solution for that device.
Wow.
And so basically every single thing that we do in technology here at the Ministry of Education, we will have a tutorial
Yes.
that you can go through, and because what we want to do is we want to reduce the downtime.
Yes.
And if you have the tutorial, you could go there and we have a help desk and tech support that you could call and email to. A ticket is generated,
Yes.
and we respond to you within 24 hours.
Wow, this is powerful. I have yet to go into a government ministry and have this level of enthusiasm and have this level of already thought out plan that you are now discussing with us tonight.
Yeah, but our mantra is this. With technology, if you don't feel us or see us, we ain't doing nothing.
Indeed.
And so you have to feel us, you have to see us. Otherwise, in our book, we ain't doing nothing.
Indeed, 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 indeed. We have another question coming in on our YouTube channel. Will students be able to view sessions taught by different lecturers?
Yes. Yes, as we said, we want to create a database. And when we went to college, and students know it too, they would tell you, don't take a class from this professor, take one from this professor,
Right.
etc. Students have the same feeling, but they don't have a choice.
Right.
And see, it messes with your psyche. Because if you believe if I'm taught by teacher X, I might do better, well, so be it.
Right.
So if I'm taught by teacher A in the day, and I go home and teacher C teaches me and I get grasp the concept, by all means necessary. All we want is for improved student performance.
That's it.
That's the bottom line.
Whoever teaches it, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Students have their preference, but in our system, we don't have the option to choose our teachers.
Yes.
And one day we will probably get to that point, especially with virtual classrooms.
Correct. All right. Would there be a cost for, I guess, this new platform from the students' aspect, or I should say from the parents' aspect? Or
Yes, we're gonna have to do tutorials and visit PTA meetings. But I think the most important thing is once we have the resource material available, and we say to parents when we run the parent portal on our emails, this is how we want you to go to this link, and this will give you the tutorial on how to do. If you run into any queries, any difficulties, this is our helpline, this is our help desk. You call, you email, and we address your concerns.
Now, the only thing can be like the regular government agency when they give you a line, and then somebody pick up the phone after 20 rings, and then they say, hold on, and they transfer you, and it just rings.
Audience, I'm gonna let you be the judge. The number's 502-8225. You call, and you be the judge, and then you tell me, and you grade us, and you tell me what's the response of the call, and how you were treated when you called to the technology section of the Ministry of Education. 502-8225.
You heard it from the horse's mouth. You didn't hear from me. I just was being the devil's advocate just now.
You brought a very important point, and it's near and dear to me.
Yeah.
We have to up our game in our government entities.
Yeah.
And persons talk about the ease of doing business and the type of response we get, and we're trying to change that within the ministry, within the Department of Education, on all fronts, not just technology.
Right. Well, I mean, and again, I like me and my wife had a very candid debate the other day on whether or not which came first, technology or education. And I told her it was the education.
I believe so too.
And so if the Ministry of Education is now endorsing this and now pushing this forward, then I think everybody else would now be affected by it.
Yes, it will be. And if you recall back in the day, when you were
young now.
No, back in my day.
You taught me by the way.
Yes. Back in the day, you virtually never encountered technology other than a calculator. And if you were fortunate to have a computer, and back then, you had to know something about computers because you had to write your own program in BASIC and COBOL, right?
Yes.
And so when if memory serves me right, unless you move from an 8-track or a 4-track in a car to get a digitized stereo system, I think when the banking came online with the ATMs is one of the first major moves that we really saw technology. And then even back then you had the phones, and we evolved from the brick phone to now modern phones, Samsung 9 Plus, iPhones, etc. And so now everything is becoming digitized.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
You know, so we need to be abreast of that. And that is where the world is now. It's not going. That's where it is.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And touching on basically on the ATM card and the evolution of that and all that, I told persons, I remember my first prepaid card came from BTC with the payphone.
Yeah.
You know, and it had a chip.
Yes. We couldn't, let's even look at it. I'm an online junkie, Amazon and eBay. You couldn't think. You used to have to go to Sears with a catalog and now you could go online and you could virtually order anything in the world and have it delivered here in New Providence in days.
Yes.
You know, true technology.
Yes. Yes.
You can go and you can, one time ago, you used to have the passbook for the bank account, and you have to go in the bank, and if you ain't been there for a little while, wait for them to update your book. Now you can go online in real time on your cell phone and see your account and move monies around from your various accounts.
Indeed.
That's technology.
Indeed. I've seen the Minister of Education push this initiative that technology is a must, that he is one that's driving this home, right? How could I say this? Let me hold that thought, let me get to this question, and I'll come back to that. And I have noticed that there's a lot of young teachers now, which is good, but the young people don't want to go to the family islands I suggest, okay. Ms. Young, I think the model of characters you're typing is a bit too long for it to come up on the screen, but what do you suggest? Break that out in the next comment from Yeah, hold a minute. Let's read this in real time.
Technology.
Technology. I've noticed there's a lot of young teachers now, which is good, but the young people don't want to go to the Family Islands. I suggest we sending these young people, mix the young and not so young together, so they'll impart knowledge and experience to young teachers.
Yes, that's one avenue, but you're finding that the young teachers are going now because there's some incentive. In the last collective bargaining agreement, teachers now, when they go to the Family Islands, they're given a flat fee just to travel to the Family Island, and they're given a utility allowance to help them pay their utilities. So it was not like how it was some time ago when you got nothing. There are some incentives, and now a number of young teachers are going to the Family Island because they realize that they could get that start, and for them, they can save a few dollars and gain the experience and then come back to the city and then continue their career. So we have that. It's a difficult in my opinion, getting the older teachers to go to the Family Islands because they are more established. They have families, and it's difficult to uproot them unless you're uprooting the whole family.
And I guess from a cost factor, it doesn't really make that much sense.
It will make sense if the husband or the wife is a police officer or some other government entity where they're being transferred, and it's government's policy that they will transfer husband with wife.
I got you.
You see?
I got you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now 8:50. I just want to take this time to thank you guys for staying up with us. We're not out of message, we're not out of time, but I just want to thank you, our viewers, for staying with us and advancing this conversation by asking your questions and expressing your concerns. This is not the first time. This is the first time Mr. Anderson is on the show, but I'm sure it won't be the last.
No, it won't be.
And we'll be following the Ministry of Education's initiative inside with the technology initiatives. And again, mixed emotions right now from the producer. Hold on, I got a comment. Excellent. I tell you, no joke, love this session. Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for staying up with us. So, Mr. Anderson, back to the minister, right? I know the minister was, and it goes back to what you just said, but young persons are being uprooted and named to the family. And he has said that all teachers have now been sent to the various schools, and everything is now up and running.
Yeah, as best as we can. You know that there will always be some shortages because for some reason or the other, teachers have in their mind that if they resign in June, they will not get paid for the summer months. But that is not the truth.
Okay.
They will get paid upward to the summer months. Okay. So a lot of persons you have will wait till the first day of school and send in their letter of resignation, which presents a challenge.
I got you. And I'm guessing with now this aggressive means that you guys are now integrating technology and implementing technology, not only in the schools, but now in the ministry. You guys could see from a glance who's, I guess, the teachers that's up for retirement, at a glance for you to say exactly, all right, we now need to prepare for the higher X amount of teachers.
But that is not our challenge, you know.
Okay.
Our challenge is not those who we know are going to retire. It's those who we don't know, who don't reach the mandatory age and just decide to do it abruptly. And then also, when you look at entities, their number one pool that they're going to pull from if they're going to hire, if they could find a teacher,
yes,
they're going to take those teachers.
Yes.
Local government is taking a number of our teachers. You have entities that will, you've been teaching, but you have a degree, we want you.
Wow. Wow.
You know, I just had a teacher come to me and shared with me and bid me farewell and said, I'm going to Bahamas making X, Y dollars. Left the classroom.
Wow.
And making more than I am as a deputy director.
Wow.
So people tap into the resources
Yes.
of education because they know that they have qualified persons, and that's one thing I can say about the Bahamas public school system. We have the best trained teachers in the system.
Yes.
The best, bar none.
Yes.
Private or public. The best.
Got you. So Akira's asking the question, are teachers on contracts on a 3 or 5 year contract? Or how we going a little off topic now, but how does the contract work?
The contracts are extended to our expat teachers, meaning our teachers that are non-Bahamian
Yes.
teachers, and they are on contract. But our Bahamian teachers are not on contract.
Okay.
They go on probation for a year, and it's our hope and wish that teachers, when they come in, will teach for the 30, 40 years
Okay.
and have their lifespan in education done in the public school.
Okay. So I guess from and I don't think you can speak to this, but I'll say it. I guess from a policy making decision, which I guess lies on the minister, he now probably have to take a look and see exactly how these abrupt decisions are now affecting how schools are being handled and what type, I guess, incentives and all that could be now.
What we do is we look at year over year, and we look at the data from previous years to try to get some type of number as to what the expectations would be for the next year in terms of teachers that would leave the system abruptly, but you could only plan to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And we're dealing with numbers and persons. It will shift from year to year. One year you might be on, the next year you might be off.
Gotcha.
That's just how it is.
Yeah. All right. So Akira, and Akira is an attorney. She is saying we should put, I guess, sometimes contract or I guess adjust the policy on when a teacher, I guess, could resign.
I would agree with you, and that would help a lot of the problems. And if you talk about labor relations and all the problems that we have, that will rule out all of that. And I wholeheartedly support a contract.
Right.
But now the challenge is, where do you start and when do you start? Because persons have been used to not having a contract. And so when you look at persons in the system, you might have to decide that persons coming in the system for the first time, you institute a contract. So it's done as a phased approach over a period of time. I wholeheartedly support that.
Yeah. All right. But we're not. We agree with it, but we're not going to cause a firestorm to brew up from what you call them, the union. Yeah, we're not going to cause a firestorm.
Basically, we do, and I just say this, we basically do have a contract because the collective bargaining agreement is a contract between teachers and the Bahamas government and the Ministry of Education. So basically, that is a contract, terms and conditions of service.
Agreed. So I guess when you guys go back to the bargaining table, you might be able to sort of live closer. All right, time now is 8:55. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Mr. Anderson, it's been a pleasure having you on our show. I think Sanders Consultants Limited, we would see how we could assist the ministry forward in terms of the live streaming in the various classrooms and the various islands.
We'd appreciate that.
So we'll see exactly how we could assist you guys in that endeavors, because we're live streaming now. We have been using this technology for the last 2 years, and I feel that we have a wealth of knowledge on how to go about doing what you are executing some of the things that you guys plan. So we'll be in discussions in that regard.
Appreciate it.
To the various sponsors, corporate sponsors that's assisting you guys, kudos to you guys. Sanders Consultants, again, is going to jump on board and see exactly how we could assist the ministry in this endeavor, because it is paramount that we assist in the integration of technology, because Sanders Consultants Limited, our motto is implementing IT solutions that fit.
Okay.
Because not every technology that's on the shelf
Fits the model.
fits.
Yeah. You're right.
And every situation is dynamic and nothing is static.
Right.
So we'll be in contact with you and see exactly how we can assist.
Appreciate that.
You guys stay tuned. Beat the Clock is not tomorrow. Beat the Clock is our game show that we do at the end of every month to recap, to make sure that persons grasp the information given for that particular month.
Okay.
And there are about 10 to 15 questions. And each question, you have about 10 seconds to read it, to answer it.
Okay.
And hopefully, depending if you answer it in about 3 seconds, you get 100 points.
Okay.
And each time, the longer the period of time that you take, points are deducted.
Okay. All right.
And so,
That's interesting.
right. So, Beat the Clock is next week, Friday. We wanted to get in the Ministry of Education's point of view as it relates to technology. So Beat the Clock will be next week, Friday, right here on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. So you guys want to make sure that you go back to all our videos in August, education and technology, and get yourself geared up to Beat the Clock. I think this is going to be a hot one. We have some very exciting prizes and giveaways for our winners.
Okay.
So you guys make sure education and technology, first week in August to the day of state. That's all we've been talking, education and technology.
Okay.
And so it's another way that we make sure that the information that we are discussing here
It's retained.
is retained.
Yeah.
We have another questions coming in. Do the ministry consider gamification as a tool to use in a new tech platform?
What's that?
Gamification. So gamification is like, almost like the Beat the Clock.
Yeah.
Game so that we're looking at. Whether or not there will be tests, virtual tests and all that being done in the schools, or competitions, almost like the spelling bee.
Right, but I mean, you've had it in the ITS academics, and we will use all the strategies and mediums available to us, and now it's going to be expanded with technology. And so we will use all the mediums available to us because we realize that students have different learning modalities, learning styles, and so we will try to cater to all of those styles.
Sure. And so again, we have our game show tech platform already established. So we'll be able now to go ahead and share with you guys. See whether or not
just like how you have your game show, I'm sure in the future we'll create apps and games that students can link into and play those games, which will reinforce which was taught in the classroom.
Indeed.
And that's one of the advantages of technology. Without technology, we can't do that.
Exactly. And so that technology allows education to be expanded in so many different levels.
Yes.
And but again, we had to start. We know where we want to go. The various partners, private and government partners, have partnership with you guys. Sanders Consultants is going to partnership with the Ministry of Education and see exactly how we can hurry up, expedite this.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's a need, and we want to help dismiss that myth of a T average.
No, no such thing. No such thing, and I can guarantee you, with increased technology, not only just technology, increase equipment and devices in schools for the first time ever in the history of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We're talking about every teacher, every student within the next 4 or 5 years will have a device. You've never seen it in this country. We can only go up because now we're creating an environment that will be conducive for learning.
Yes. All right, so Tech Thursday will continue to follow the Ministry of Education. We will continue to assist the Ministry of Education in their endeavors. So you guys stay tuned, continue to follow us, continue to share the video with your friends, your family, so more and more persons can understand what's happening in how technology is affecting the Bahamas in the whole spectrum. Once again, Mr. Anderson, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Not a problem.
Thank you, audience, for joining us tonight. Sorry. We have one last question. If someone wants to sponsor, who do they call?
You can call the Ministry of Education. I'll give you my cell, 376-6333, or you can call the hotline 502-8225, which is our help desk, or you could call 502-2700, and we would be more than willing to accept your donation or to direct you how you can help with our technology initiatives.
Okay. There you hear it from the horse's mouth. We don't bring you guys fake news on Tech Thursdays. We only bring you guys real information that's relevant, that's permanent, and that is truth. And so thank you, Mr. Anderson, once again.
Thank you for having me.
For coming on Tech Thursday. We see you guys next week, Tuesday, on our product review. Next week, Tuesday, and then next week, Thursday, our regular Tech Thursday, and then next week, Friday, is Beat the Clock. We have a full slate of shows next week. You guys, always a pleasure seeing you guys. Always a pleasure you guys joining the conversation. See you guys next week, Tuesday, during our product review. Be sure to watch all of our videos during the month of August up to today's date. We were talking technology and education because Beat the Clock will be geared towards that. Until next week, good night, everybody.
Good night.